me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pesto. I don't know why.
Susie, that's crazy. Let me tell you my own crazy story. I was attending pro-life outreach at Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was chatting with this guy who just walked by me. I asked him, what are your thoughts about abortion? And he told me that he's mostly pro-life, but he had a couple things that really held him up from becoming fully pro-life. And those things were particularly the case of rape and the case of incest. These are two of the most sensitive cases we could discuss when it comes to abortion, right? Like when we're talking about incest, we're probably talking about abuse, right, within a family or a lack of safety. When we're talking about rape, we're talking about one of the most violent crimes in the world that just is truly awful and horrifying. So to break down, talking about the case of rape, I wanted to tell him about 3 people. This is a new way I've been breaking down the case of rape when I have conversations, and it seems to resonate with a lot of people. So I told him, I said, let's talk about the people involved in this situation. So first of all, we have the rapist who has committed a truly awful and horrific crime. He deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. He has violated this woman's bodily autonomy. He has harmed her, abused her, used her, and created lifelong trauma for this woman. And she did not deserve that. He needs to be reported to the police. His crime needs to be reported, and he needs to go to jail. Second person in this situation is the woman who has experienced incredible trauma. There are a few things a person can go through that are more awful and horrifying and just absolutely traumatizing than rape. This woman deserves to get all of the mental health resources she needs so she can heal from the trauma she's gone through. Then, of course, there's her body, right? We want her mind to heal. We also want her body to heal. She deserves to receive the healthcare resources she needs so that her body can heal too, and so she can make it through this. She needs, the loving support of her community to come around her so that she's not alone as she gets through this. And also, we want to make sure she's safe and that she's away from this rapist so that she never gets assaulted again. And we should, if we ever meet someone or know someone who's been through sexual assault, we need to make sure we express lots of compassion and love for her, make sure she knows that we're in her corner and we want to help her, and also that we want to make sure she's safe. And then there's a third person in the situation, and that is the unborn child. And the unborn baby really is an innocent party in this situation, right? So, a horrible crime has been committed against this mother, and as a result of that act, this new human being exists. And the unborn child has not committed a crime, right? And it's interesting that in our society in America, we do not punish rapists with the death penalty. However, we do punish children of rapists with the death penalty by killing them in abortion. So I asked him this question. I said, in a country where we don't punish rapists with the death penalty, why should we punish the unborn child who hasn't done anything wrong with the death penalty? And, he thought about that for a while. And he wasn't really sure. After we continued to have our conversation and talk through the other issues that he brought up, he was really compelled that we should protect human life in all cases. And he became 100% pro-life. And that was a really powerful conversation. It reminded me that by being willing to have an uncomfortable conversation about abortion, you can really change someone's life. And hopefully we can save many lives, because every person is worthy of being protected from violence. So when we talk about the case of rape, that unborn child was not able to choose what circumstances they were conceived in, right? If you think about the people you value and you care about in your life, you probably have no idea how they were conceived, right? If you think about your best friend or, people in your life that you care about, you don't know the circumstances of their conception, yet you value them. We value all people regardless of how they are conceived. And the one way we make an exception for that is in the case of rape of an unborn child. So if a child's unborn, we suddenly discriminate against them for something they cannot control. An unborn baby who's been conceived in rape deserves our protection, our defense, and our love as a society. And the mother, who's been through this horrific crime, who's experienced such incredible trauma, deserves all of the love and support we can offer her. Abortion is never compassionate. Abortion never heals wounds, right? So when we hear something awful like these truly terrible cases like rape, we have to remind ourselves, abortion doesn't take away trauma. Abortion creates more trauma and destroys more lives. The truly just position is to recognize that every human being deserves to have human rights, even when conceived in a difficult situation.